Hi, everybody, and thank you for joining us today for this Facebook Live. My name is Mara Levinsky, and I am here with two stars of General Hospital who really need no introduction, but I am going to go ahead and introduce them anyway. I am here with Steve Burton, who plays Jason Morgan, and Ms. Kelly Monaco, who plays Sam McCall. And the reason that we are here is that General Hospital has partnered with Clorox for an ABC Daytime First, the release of a capsule collection of special episodes that highlight memorable moments in the history of one of the show's love stories. And it was Jason and Sam who were selected to receive this red carpet treatment.
To pioneer.
Yes.
Pioneers.
Breaking new ground. Now
that
I know
means we're old. We're pioneers.
I know
Go.
just getting older. I know a lot of fans have been curious to know if this might be the first in a series, and General Hospital doesn't know yet. But the more that people watch and enjoy this collection, the likelier it is that other couples might get collections of their own in the future. Now, the Jason and Sam collection, which is called The Best of Jason and Sam, is 15 episodes that are available in their entirety for free from now through September 30th at abc.com/Jason and Sam, and also streaming on the ABC app.
There we go.
There we go.
Well
The
done.
best of Jason and Sam.
She didn't have a teleprompter.
That was good. Very good.
Thanks,
Mara. Good
friends.
job. Good job.
So we, General Hospital rather, reached out to fans on social media to solicit questions for Steve and Kelly, and we're going to get to a few of those a little bit later. But first, we're going to talk about some of the episodes in the Best of Jason and Sam collection and Steve and Kelly's memories of them. Shady though they may be, and thoughts about them. So I want to start with the very first episode in the collection, which is when Jason and Sam met for the very first time back in 2003.
The handcuffs.
In the ultra romantic.
The interrogation room?
It doesn't get much more romantic than the interrogation room.
Yes, I remember
at the PCPD. Okay, you do, because I recognize you've shot thousands of scenes since that day, but you do remember.
Well, you know, you try when I came back, I tried to kind of go back and see what we worked together every day for 8 years.
Right.
So I just went, and we did a lot of scenes and a lot of crazy stories. So I wanted to go back and just kind of refresh my memory, and that was one of the scenes that came up, was in the interrogation room, and kind of how everything got kicked off with Jason and Sam.
I still have that jacket.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you wear it today?
I wasn't thinking. I wasn't thinking clearly. I remember. I as well had to go back, and my memory shot a little bit. Even though I haven't left, I still had to go back and remind myself, because we have done so much content.
Yeah.
But the second it started rolling, it all came back to me, and I was like, "Wow, we were really young."
That was the first thing.
We were really young.
Yeah,
I can hear my accent, like my Philadelphia accent, really strong in there, and
I didn't talk much, so it was
didn't.
great. It was amazing.
You were able to conceal your Philly accent.
Yes, absolutely.
Their
100%.
lack of.
You know, that was the kickoff to us working together and kind of starting this relationship, because we were actually in that scene, we were supposed to, I think Scotty Baldwin was trying to get us to turn on each other in that scene. And
Classic Scotty Baldwin.
We decided to work together to pull a fast one on Scotty. So that's kind of how the bond started, and then the whole unraveling of Sonny and the baby, and me taking care of her, and doing the bond.
I think that's probably really where it started.
That's really where it started. Correct.
Yeah.
That's where it started.
Yeah, because the characters didn't particularly like each other.
No, there was some animosity in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, with all due respect, I think Sam came in as a grifter, a con artist, and
with all due respect to grifters and con artists.
With the story that was being told. There was some friction between the two. I think Sonny wanted off with my head at some point, and somewhere along the line, something had shifted, I guess.
Yeah.
In the storyline, and yes, you became the bodyguard.
Yes.
Well, one of the earlier episodes in the collection also deals with when Sam was pregnant by Sonny.
Correct.
Sonny had reconciled with Carly, and Jason was wanting to keep the family unit of Sonny, Carly, Michael, and then baby Morgan intact.
Right.
So he said, I will pretend to be the father.
Right.
Not the first time Jason has
I think I changed the
pretended.
paternity results.
You did.
To me, so
Right.
everybody thought it was me, even though
Right.
Sam and me and Sonny knew it wasn't, but we wanted to protect Sam at the time.
Well, what do you think it is about Jason that makes him repeatedly volunteer to claim a child that is not his biologically?
Because he's like a cat. He's got 9 lives.
Well, I have 2 lives. So far, I have 2. I have 2 lives.
You got plenty left.
I don't know. I think he's a pretty selfless character, and the whole dynamic was interesting because with Sonny and Carly and protecting them, and taking care of her, and there's just so much going on. And I thought, because when I first came back, that's one of the first scenes I watched was the baby Lila Morgan,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just an amazing story, and it was actually a great launching pad for us because it just such an emotional story for everybody. I think for Alexis also, and I just remember that hospital scenes when the baby had died, and it was just so emotional, and everybody was so awesome that kind of launched us into, what Jason and Sam became, sort of,
Well, Callie, I want to ask you about the episode where Jason has to inform Sam that her baby is gone. Just watching it again recently, it's such a
Just gave me that
wrenching.
chills
I know,
just
me too.
thinking about it.
What is that? Obviously, you're not Sam, but you have to feel what Sam feels to shoot a scene like that.
You know what? I am not Sam. But I have had my own experience in the past, so I did unfortunately have something to pull from, and I don't think I've ever said this out loud in an interview before, but it was so emotional for me, and because it hit home, because it was something that that was really easy to tap into. It will go down in history for me as my favorite storyline by far that we've told. Not only because I had something to connect to, but everybody stepped up to the plate. Not just Steve, but Nancy was amazing.
Yeah.
Maurice. And it led to the story with Christina and being able to save her. And then it just built a foundation, I think, for the history of all these characters to be emotionally involved with each other. And it just went on a whole different journey. I don't think the writers, the audience, or anybody could have anticipated what was. I don't think we even knew what was going on.
No, because in
when
the
it was
beginning,
happening.
they didn't know that they didn't really have a plan of putting us together.
Right.
So once the bodyguard's story kind of started happening, it was great because there was no pressure for us to become something that they necessarily had a vision of. It was more of us just, we were hardworking actors who wanted to do our best, and we were kind of finding little things, really working on our scenes, and then people started noticing those things, and they're like, oh, well, this is interesting. Let's see what happens.
It's one of the great things about daytime drama.
Right, and that's what happened, So there was no expectations for them, for anybody, and we just worked our stuff and made something of it.
Now, Sam and Jason, it took them a while to get to their first kiss. She was actually tipsy at Nicholas and Emily's wedding the first time they smooched. Were you aware, do you recall, that the audience had started to root for the couple to get together? You were aware of that, even like before Twitter?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Before Twitter, we did these great events down in Disney.
Yeah, Super Soap.
We would have 50,000 of the most amazing fans there.
Yeah.
And we were able to hear a lot of feedback, and generally really positive feedback. So we started going there prior to our characters even getting together. So I think hearing the feedback from the fans, and I believe that was played intentionally,
Yeah.
right? The
Yeah.
build up and the weight
Yeah,
and the angst and
100%.
it was written intentionally.
Yeah, I think the one thing sometimes that soaps can fall in the trap of is maybe going too fast with stuff, and especially with the relationship. And the one thing that they did, thank God, and what we kind of wanted, we wanted to pace it to make it a build, to make it something special, and we were able to do that with the writers at the time, and it was just it was a great blessing to be able to do that.
One of the episodes in the collection that put a smile on my face to see again, and that I know is a standout for a lot of Jason and Sam's fans, is the tequila and dominoes. Now, on paper, it doesn't seem like this is a huge milestone. This is going to be something that's going to be talked about.
This became everything.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yes, I really did spit on Steve in the middle of the scene. It's been a question asked over the years.
She spit on me.
He said it, you just spit on me.
I go, because we're doing it, and it's she plays drunk great, because I'm the worst person to play drunk ever. I actually did a movie where I played drunk and they cut all the scenes out because it was so horrifying. So Kelly was great. So she's drinking tequila and I'm waiting.
No experience at all.
Yeah, right.
Nothing to draw from.
Yeah, nothing. So she's doing it. It was awesome, and she's laughing and having fun, and she's spitting on me. And to me, I see the spit. I see the spit.
I don't think the camera could.
No, they couldn't. That was the problem, because it was kind of dark because the power was out.
Yeah.
Right, but I kind of saw the spit. And I'm like, they have to be seeing this. It's like coming to my face. And I go, you just spit on me. You're spitting on me, and I thought they would stop, and they didn't stop. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm gonna keep going. And I was just totally out of character.
I think I was like, so.
Yeah, I know.
And like kept going.
It was awesome. It was so that.
It was one of my favorite moments of joyful scenes that we got to do.
Yeah. But when you have a day like that, do you find yourself thinking, the fans are going to love this, or are you ever surprised by what it sparks to the audience?
I didn't know how that would play.
I didn't know. The great thing about it was there was that real moment in there that they didn't stop taping. So I think that kind of was like, that took, caught me off guard that she was, just spitting on my face. So I'm like, okay, she's spitting on me. But it was real, and it was fun, and we just kept going, and it was just one of those scenes where they didn't stop tape, and we just made it work, and it became something.
Yeah, it became one of the collection.
It made it into the best of Jason and Sam. And if you hadn't spit, maybe we wouldn't be sitting here today.
Maybe not.
You're absolutely right. If she didn't spit on me, we would not be here.
So another, romantic, sweet moment was the dance on the rooftop in the rain. I found myself very anxious about the leather jacket getting damaged.
Yes.
You guys did not seem to care about it in the scene. It was like, maybe we'll just replace it.
It was a stunt jacket.
A stunt jacket.
It wasn't my original one, so I'm fine with that.
So do you remember that scene?
I do.
Yeah, I remember that. Yes.
What are the memories? What stands out?
This is gonna sound terrible, but I love the rain, even if it's fake rain, and we really never get rain in LA. So I had no problem having
awesome.
Water, getting drenched with water, and I don't know how the candles still stay lit.
It's amazing.
Magic.
TV magic.
The interesting part with that, when he left, we had to recreate that moment, and I had kept that dress.
Wow.
And I was able to bring the dress back. Now they have it for their archives. I'm sure one of you can purchase for some charity or something. I really loved everything about that. I don't know, there's something genuine and cleansing and
cool, and it looks great.
It's cool, yeah.
It looks great on TV, anything in the rain looks good, so.
Well, speaking of rooftops, we have to talk about the proposal the ring-free proposal because the ring went flying off
Over the balcony, yes.
Thanks
I
so much,
remember those
Maxie.
scenes.
That's
to
when I got a
Maxie.
lug nut.
Yeah.
Yes, the lug nut that magically fit your
What
finger.
a dummy!
It never fit my finger. I think she wore it around her
Under-
neck. Right,
Yeah, it's
on
so
a-
funny. Oh my
a ring on
gosh.
a string.
It's funny.
All right, so obviously that's a standout moment
Yeah.
for Jason and Sam fans and is a part of the collection. What do we remember other than the Maxie scenes about that day and the lug nut? Did you have a chuckle when you saw in the script that was going to be the ring?
It's just, I mean, I guess it's what, I didn't even know if it, I mean, he couldn't just run to the store.
Or run down, like take
Some-
the
No, they
elevator,
looked. They
like
looked. They couldn't find
Spidey,
I
it.
guess-
Spidey web yourself down and pick up the ring.
Well, we
and
couldn't
just-
find the ring.
Yeah.
We looked. So they did a lug nut.
I
don't know.
wasn't there.
I don't know. They couldn't, I don't know.
I
Oh,
think
wow.
the lug
Yeah.
nut was appropriate
Yeah.
for the characters.
Yeah.
I don't think Jason would have ever given Sam a big,
Big ring
obnoxious ring.
Except if Maxie helped him pick him one out.
Right,
which
right.
was-
Maxie would have helped pick the biggest ring out ever. And Sam would have been walking like,
Right, right, exactly.
She would have been-
Exactly.
What's wrong with Sam? She's always bent over. The ring's so heavy. Oh my
But
gosh.
at the same time, I don't know if you remember the dialogue in the scene, but it was very true to the characters, and they spoke about, not even necessarily needing
A ring.
the ring, the ceremony, to know that they wanted to spend their lives together.
Sure,
And
sure.
that's just a really darn sweet sentiment.
I think these characters knew that they didn't need anything, hence them getting married essentially in a Chinese restaurant.
Which was the best.
Right. Well, we're definitely going to talk about that in just
Yeah.
a moment. Oops.
Well, it's interesting because I was trying to kind of look back and remember stuff that we did and just about the relationship and I saw some quotes that were funny. One was, you said, "You like me?" And I said, "Sure." And this is the best, right? This is how it starts. "You like me?" "Sure." "Thanks, I like you too." Is that awesome? That's how it started,
Did
right?
we make that up?
No, that's what we said. You like me? Sure.
Sure.
Thanks, I like you too. And it was like Knuckles, right? So then it started that way, and then it was
Knuckles.
another scene was you said something about Sonny needed you, and you chose you said Sonny needed you, but you chose to come look for me. That's what Sam said to me, and I said it wasn't a choice. It was a necessity. It's like breathing. So it's interesting how we go from "You like me? Sure, thanks, I like you too," to "I can't
breathe
breathe
without
without you." You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like you have this simple. It started out kind of with this friendship, which was nice, and then it turned into something obviously more. And I just think that dialogue shows you the depth of the simplicity of the friendship, and then like, "You're my life now. That's it."
Right. And it speaks to, of course, the journey
Sure,
from
right.
point A to point B.
Right, exactly.
I'm curious in general, like back in 2003, when the characters first started interacting, you were new to the show. You'd been around for a while. But as we sit here today, is it like surreal to you that we're talking about a storyline that people have cared about for a really long
15
time?
years?
15 years.
Yeah, I think it's surreal.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
crazy that because you never think that that's going to be the case when you're working, and you don't know how it's going to impact people, and it's just awesome that it has, and that we're actually just kind of.
Once Sam got pregnant with Sonny's baby, I was like, oh shoot.
Either I'm going to be awesome or I'm going to be dead. This is going to be great.
Like, man,
or there's
I
going to be a
really
car
like
explosion.
General
Right,
Hospital.
right.
Sam,
Right.
Sam, don't get in a limo. Don't get in that limo.
Totally.
So,
Just don't
but it
get
turned
in
out
any
great.
vehicle registered to
I mean,
Sonny.
it's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, it's
So-
crazy. It's crazy that
To be
people
called a
are
super couple,
still,
which is
that
crazy to me.
still care about this couple 15 years later
It's
is insane. I
It's
couldn't-
awesome.
Well, let's talk about the wedding day.
Sure.
Because, it's soap opera weddings are a big deal when a couple that's been, trying to get to the altar for that long
Yeah.
gets married. It's a big deal. I think you're the first characters to do it in a Chinese restaurant. So what were your thoughts on the way that ceremony ended up unfolding?
I thought it was honestly perfect for the characters. I thought it was perfect. It couldn't have been any better, because the guy, I can't remember his name, the guy who officiated the wedding was awesome.
So great.
And I think his parents were there, or it was his
Grandparents.
and they were all. It was just perfect how it kind of unfolded, you know.
I couldn't have imagined the two of them at that time, especially having a lavish, big to-do of a wedding. It's not.
It wasn't them at all. It's like, get on the bike, let's go.
Totally.
To the, what is it? The Noodle Buddha? What is
Noodle
it?
Buddha.
The Noodle Buddha.
Nailed it.
And get married.
Yep.
So, and then hence the dragon and the phoenix. There you go.
I have a feeling we have not seen the end of that.
I'm sure they have those two figurines on standby.
Well, I
Right
know
now.
Sam
Or
did
some
leave
stunt
them.
figurines.
No,
Yeah.
they're in this building.
They
Sam did leave them at the Noodle Buddha, and she placed them on top of something significant, I'm
Yeah.
sure, and said, "This is for the next couple, lucky
Nice.
couple, or something like that." So they're definitely in the universe.
somewhere.
They're in the General Hospital universe somewhere.
We should have had them on. We should have had them do a guest appearance, cameo,
Right here.
in the
My
Facebook.
gosh.
In the
Right.
They
in
would
the
probably
Facebook
not be
Live.
allowed.
We'll just
They
sit right here.
don't have the money for that today.
So, they say that the first year of marriage is rough. But it was really, really rough for Jason and for Sam. I don't know if you even recall.
Refresh our
Of course,
memories.
we have the horrifying events of the honeymoon in Hawaii.
Of course, yes.
And
remember
followed
this.
by
Oh, gosh.
Sam's miraculous pregnancy, but we didn't know who the father was.
After I was shot.
After you were
Right.
shot.
Yes.
And of course, Danny was thought to not have survived.
Mhm.
And
Well,
then-
we had lost my brother Danny, and
Right.
between that as well, too.
Yeah.
Right. Your brother he died earlier, and of course
Uh-huh.
the son was named in honor of him.
Right.
And then Heather Weber and Todd took the baby, and it went to Landview, and it was a whole thing. And you finally got the baby back,
And you get a call from Bernie.
and you get the call from Bernie.
Yeah.
May he
I
rest
remember
in
those
peace.
scenes. Yep. Yeah.
So they had this fleeting moment of happiness as a family.
Like 30 seconds.
It was like 30 seconds. Yeah.
I think it was a little more.
No, it
Not
was
much.
It was
Not
really
much
a minute,
longer.
1
I,
minute,
did, I
right?
didn't get to tell you that Danny was yours, so really we didn't have that. We didn't have that minute before you got the call from Bernie and went off
Poor Bernie.
to the harbor.
Yeah.
He was a great accountant.
He was amazing. He was amazing at numbers. Like another friend of mine.
So, Steve, you made a comment earlier
Yes.
about how because the characters weren't intended to be together, there wasn't pressure. But
Yeah.
when you're shooting a scene like that where the characters have been estranged, they're finally reuniting.
Yeah.
You were about to leave the show at that
Yeah.
point. Is there pressure to make a reunion like that really special for the fans?
I think there was so much emotion anyway. That day was so emotional, just in general, that we could barely even get through stuff at all. So I don't think there was any pressure that day because it was just really not great. Anyway,
Tough.
it was a
Tough
very
day.
emotional day,
Yeah.
all around. So,
Well, the collection jumps forward to your return last year
Mhm.
and the characters kind of reuniting, although she had been drugged. She wasn't really sure what was happening.
Yes.
But let's talk about those water stunts.
yeah. Well, let's not overlook all this. The coolest part, I think, from Jason and Sam, it was like Bonnie and Clyde.
Mm-hmm.
I always had my partner in crime, and we always did. I mean, she kicked a lot of ass, but Facebook.
I don't know how. I
kicked a
don't
lot
know
of
how
butts.
on earth I did that.
You did it, man. You had those pointy boots. You're like, "Wah!" I remember
still
you
have
kicking
them.
like a lot of people and stuff and shooting people. And remember when you shot me? Do you remember that scene where I go, shoot him, shoot him. She goes, I go, you freaking shot me. What are you doing? So it was just,
I
we've had a lot
never
of
said
fun.
I had good aim.
Yeah, right. You can pull a trigger, but you can't aim. But we had fun doing all the stunts too. But
The stunt work, the water.
Oh, the water, yeah.
dude, those are my favorite things to do. So, and any time I can pretend to be a action star,
yeah, so
is my favorite.
it's an above ground pool, which we're both familiar with because we're white trash from the Midwest and the East. No, it's just a joke. I grew up that way. I love above ground pools, and that's what we were in. So I felt very at home. But it was too warm. Kelly loved it. I hated it. It was so warm. I was dying, and it was black. It was black, right? It was a black pool, and I can't see at all. And you know, she was probably wearing black because that's all she wears.
I was wearing blue.
So close enough to black. She was underwater. I had to take my contacts out because I couldn't wear them in the water, and I couldn't. They're like, swim toward Kelly. I go, I can't see her. I can't see what's going on. They're like, can we get a stunt person? Remember the stunt person had the neon yellow? That's the only way I could do those scenes. So we're going, and you know, it's always fun because she gets thrown in the water, and then within 30 seconds, she has ropes and chainmail and chains and seaweed, and she's like, you know,
It's a
trapped
miracle.
within 30
It's a
seconds.
miracle you survived.
I know.
Yes. All right.
But I'm a
Well,
mermaid, so I would have been able to live under there for a while.
You were under
yeah, you
there.
could have
for a
played a dual role of Sam and
There was a
Ariel.
time because she could hold her breath
Yeah.
for like 2 minutes. They were like, the director was freaking out. Bring her up! Bring her up! I was like, she's
And I'm
fine,
just
dude.
down there like
She's fine.
sign languaging with
was
Barb,
fun.
who was doing the other underwater
Yeah,
stuff. I'm like,
it was
I'm
fun.
chilling.
It's a nice day at the office.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right, I'm going to ask a couple of these fan questions now.
Sure.
Michelle, who's on Twitter, she
Hi,
would
Michelle.
like to know, Steve and Kelly,
Michelle.
which JSAM nemesis was your favorite to combat Manny Ruiz,
Ooh, that.
Ooh, that was a
Jerry
good one.
Jacks,
Just took
or
that
Franco?
Well,
You were going to say Manny.
I was gonna say Manny.
Mhm.
He was, to me, the most terrifying. The
Yeah.
others aren't really scary to me. But
Yeah.
Manny was.
Yeah,
really scary.
Robert Lasardo, right? Robert
Oh
was
my
up-
gosh,
yeah.
he was really, really, really
No,
good.
dude,
He actually scared the shit out of me on a daily basis. Like, just him, period.
Well, he was because he had a lot of tattoos.
I know
he
he's
was a method actor.
method.
Yeah, 100%.
So
yeah.
he would threaten me.
Well, it was funny
He
because
would threaten me in between takes
I-
just to stay in character.
I tell the story all the time about. Do you remember the day?
Yes,
Where
I
we
know
laughed so
exactly.
hard. Do you remember
where,
this day?
Where Maurice had to smack himself in the face.
Don't tell the end of the story,
I'm so
Kelly.
sorry.
Spoiler alert.
Dang it!
I was
It
like
an
biting
amazing-
my cheek
It was an
and
amazing
pinching
story.
myself.
It was an amazing story.
No, go ahead. You can.
Well, it's just I'll tell it quickly. I'll tell a quick version. So it's the end of the Manny story, and Manny and Robert's he is a
Oh my
method.
God.
He's a method actor, right? So he's supposed to be dying right downstage, and Kelly, myself, and Maurice are supposed to have dialogue, right? So he had a lot of tattoos. So the director at the time was very afraid of Manny. So
We all were.
So Manny is dying, and he's a method actor, and it's 5, 4, 3, 2, and it's like this whole like yelling. I go, what? What's going on? They're not saying anything, and we're supposed to do dialogue, right? And we're looking at each other like, is this really happening? What's going on? And then it's right, and then we're laughing so hard, and then this poor guy. It's his first day. He's a paramedic. He comes in. He's sweating to death. He comes in. He's supposed to get Manny, and he says like, "Hey, and I don't know what language that is, but he was so nervous. He said something that no one could understand. And Maurice and I, and you got Manny going, and you got this guy not understanding, and then Kelly and Maurice and I are laughing, and then
Like
Bill.
dying.
Oh, it was Bill. Now I'm ratting the director out. Bill, he was like, "Get it together, guys. That is so unprofessional."
We did. We got yelled at by
So
Bill.
I mean, yell at, and so we tried again. He's like, Manny's like, and then the guy says his thing, and we're supposed to, and it wasn't working. And then Bill's, take 5, get it together. So Kelly and I walk off this way, and we're like, okay, can we just not laugh anymore? And we're walking, and I remember she's walking in a circle, I'm walking in a circle. We're trying to just not laugh. And finally, we meet together, and I'm like, okay, can we just do this? We got to get out by lunch. Can we go home and just get this done? Perfect cue. We look downstage, and there's Maurice Bernard punching himself in the face. Like, I mean, this dude is clocking himself, and it was perfectly silhouetted, right? You just see this little sunny going.
And I could not laugh.
I mean, just beat him, and as soon as that happened, we freaking
No,
lost it
it's
again.
like-
It was a mess.
Go to lunch.
We were like, they said go to lunch and just get it together. And
Yeah.
it was amazing, dude.
Yeah.
That was one of the funniest times we've ever had because we couldn't do it.
We couldn't.
We all had to stand. We're supposed to be talking to each other. We all had to stand downstage.
No one can look
and
at
do
each
our
other.
lines so no one can look at each other. They're like, you guys are pathetic losers. Get it
And
together.
for Bill to get mad,
I know.
you wouldn't know this director is
Yeah,
like
Bill's
the least.
he's like Buddha.
Yeah.
He's yelling at us over. Get us out!
Which is even funnier.
I know. The whole thing was funny. Sorry.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
one last question,
It was a
real
funny story, though.
fast. This is from MZJuicy98 from Instagram. What's one thing your character hasn't done that you'd like to do?
Whoa.
Maybe they've gotten to do it all.
No.
Well,
I mean,
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, we've done so much. I mean, we've done so much I don't even remember. But I was kind of looking at the timeline of our stuff, and I'm like, I mean, there was viruses and brain surgery and death and shooting, and you got shot, and I got shot, and you shot me again.
Encephalitis.
I mean, it was just crazy stuff, you know.
So maybe like another game of tequila and dominoes or something.
Well, we kind of did that on the haunted star for a second.
That's
but
true. That's true.
Maybe one more time. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sad to say we're out of time.
What?
but This was an absolute
That's it. We're getting like there's 10 people behind the camera. Right? Wrap it up.
So thank you so much to Steve and Kelly. This was so much fun for me, and I think for all the fans as well.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank
It's
you
been
guys for
15
everything.
years of an
That's
amazing, fun
Go
entertainment.
check out the collection.
Yes, please do. And we're going to show you a promo to give you all the information about how to check it out if you haven't already done so. And thanks again for being with us today.
Relive the romance of super couple Jason and Sam as General Hospital pulls together 15 years of their greatest and unforgettable moments. The GH Collection, streaming now on abc.com/Jason and Sam and on the ABC app, brought to you by Clorox.